Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 18th of July 2021, and as you can tell with the shirt, yellow shirt, which means I've just freshly come back from the local stand in the park. Always such a really uplifting morning, and I mentioned it in my last video, and I think I saw in the comments that quite a few people were going to go along either for the first time or again today. It was a pretty hot one, wasn't it, to go to if you were sort of in England at least. So just got back. A small group of us within our local stand in the park decided to do an extension, so we kind of retired to a cafe just over the street and got some drinks there. There's only about 5 of us, but we continued the conversation, talking about a few ideas of what we could do. And I think the first thing we've established is what we do is if the whole grid went down, in order to stay in communication with each other, because obviously you wouldn't be able to use the normal electronic means. So the upshot of it is one of the people, or 2 of the people we saw who are a couple, we're going to sort of meet around their house, or at least use it as a hub, with me being on my mountain bike as a sort of a runner, as it were, even though it will involve cycling a few miles, but hey, I can use the exercise. So just a little thing that came out of that. If you're new to the stand in the parks, when you do decide to go along to them, you can also join a Telegram group that they've got. There's a national one which kind of covers the whole country, and then, well, certainly our local one, it has got its own separate Telegram group as well. But the national one has got all sorts of information on it, the latest news and views and what's going on. But there are some funnies that crop up from time to time as well in the feed. And one that I'm looking here now, it's basically a photograph of 2 people walking down a street in the chucking rain by the look of it. There's a lady with an umbrella and a guy who looks absolutely drenched without an umbrella. And she's got a little speech bubble under her saying, "Hey, stupid, if you don't use your umbrella, mine won't work." What does that remind you of? I mean, it just sums up perfectly how crazy things are. Let's just scroll down a bit, because the next thing I want to talk about is just there. And one thing that cropped up at the meeting this morning was this little idea you might be interested in signing up for. If you're new to the channel, you'll know that, you won't know, should I say, that I sometimes have to use sort of code words. So I'm going to start talking about chocolate in a second, which I've done in past videos, and it sort of actually refers to something else that many people, not people like us, but many others around the world seem to think is some kind of superb treat, but we'll call it chocolate. And this one is basically, it's the lurgy, that's another code word for a certain condition going around, the lurgy chocolate control group. So it's this little thing you can sign up for, and then it's a little card, like a driving license by the looks of it here, and you put your sort of photo on it and your name, and then it's got a QR code, and then it says in big red letters, "must not eat chocolate. The person is a registered participant in the lurgy chocolate control group." And the whole idea of this is to ensure that chocolate is doing its job. There needs to be a control group, so people who aren't eating chocolate, just to see how the two compare, as in any proper controlled experiment. So And apparently this scheme's come about so that you can sign up to this, get the official card, I'm really not sure who kind of is operating this, and I'm going to have to look into it more before I can sort of fully recommend it, but I'm just giving you a heads up on it right now. Some people at the group were saying, well, you know, if you sign up for it, the powers that shouldn't be now have a record of everybody who doesn't like chocolate in the whole country or in the whole world. So, but I'll look into it. But it's an interesting idea. You could sort of have this thing on you, and if anyone sort of at work or anything else threatens you with your job and you've got no other options, you could perhaps pull this thing out and show them. Who knows, it might work, it might not do, might be a load of rubbish, it might not do. I'll look into it and come back in another video in the future. So just a little sort of heads up on that one. Now I'm going to finish this video soon because I've got to charge up my sort of phone and camera batteries for a certain shopping event. Shopping's another silly little code word that unfortunately we have to use in today's freedom-loving Britain. So a shopping trip is planned to be going on tomorrow, so I'll be getting up bright and early and making my way up there. So I've got a few little preparations to do, batteries to charge and things like that. So I might not be back later on with a video, but hopefully I will. Definitely back tomorrow with some reports on the shopping trip though. But just to finish off, another little thought. We're literally coming away from the stand in the park, and we've got a couple of roads to cross over with, with the lights and everything, pedestrian lights. And we literally get to the first one, and the pedestrian light bit was on red, but I could see that there was absolutely no cars coming whatsoever. So I just said, well, we might as well go. So over the road we went, but before we did that, there's these two girls standing next to us, and they just stayed there. They didn't sort of cross the road with us or anything like that. They just stayed there, obviously sort of waiting for the red light to go green, i.e. to be given state permission before they could do absolutely anything. So what's the betting that those two would be fully compliant with all the other rules and regulations? I think it's just two different mentalities now in life, isn't there? Those who are just 100% obedient of state diktats, and others who can just sort of look around and just say, yep, there's no danger there, let's just do our thing. Okay, I know that many people watching this are from other countries where you've got these jaywalking laws, and if you do that, you'll get fined. So that is a totally separate thing, I understand. But this is, in this country, you're allowed to do that. If there's nothing coming and you think it's safe to do so, you can just go, regardless of whether the light's on red or green. So please don't leave comments saying, oh, you're breaking jaywalking laws, because we haven't really got those in this country. Anyway, with that thought, I will leave it there. Hopefully back later on this afternoon. If not, definitely back tomorrow. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.